So they don't seem to have anti-air capabilities, or if they have, they just couldn't see the aircraft. Right, full speed ahead. We want to keep the group fairly tight here though, so we don't want, or at least we'll need to pull back some kind of formation at some point. There's also always a chance that the North Koreans do have actual some kind of defensive line here just to counter this sort of thing. It might not be a lot of people, but for example, this hill here could be that there's some units there. It wouldn't be much of a waste for them to store some infantry there, and it basically give up my little plan to go into their rear. Or in practical game terms, I don't think it would matter, because them knowing that I want to go make a flanking maneuver at their rear is totally irrelevant. They wouldn't have the time to move troops there. Yeah, this is just ambush alley as far as I can tell. I would imagine the building at the very least is where trouble starts. How far can these units even go? Yeah, up to the building. 'This is very good. They fired at a distance where we actually don't give a shit. We also can't see him, right? It's the distance thing. Two points of damage. They got a good hit on us. And I don't want to really risk this unit, so crap. We'll hold the rear, I guess. Retreating really isn't good enough. Another scout vehicle. Where's the inevitable ambush? Well, I don't know about that, but we have a huge amount of suppression now. Also can't see that son of a bitch. Right, this is pretty bad. The tank is retreating because someone shot at a light weapon at them. Oh shit. Our army command unit is in this tank. Probably should dump some infantry here. Although, I don't think that's any safer way of moving forward than just having the scout vehicles go forward. The infantry will be wiped out in just the same way. Still willing to bet there's someone in that building. The recoilless is probably going to get its shit back together. Okay. If there's a unit in the building, it's at least a little bit suppressed after that. Yeah, we knew this was coming. Assault fail. Retreating infantry squad. Okay. Recall the squad at least driven off. Was my main goal here anyway. They're way too dangerous because they have the high explosive anti-tank. Our armor tanks have at this stage is not enough to protect it. So we're basically doomed against such attacks. Doesn't matter how cheap and shitty the unit itself is. It's good enough. And for God's sake. That won't kill them, but it'll suppress them to the point I don't think I have to worry about them anymore. I could try to kill them. The reason I'm not shooting the recoilless is that I'd like to get the kill for someone else. The unit is gonna be pretty much worthless anyway. Might be able to get it to our infantry unit that we own. No, they're all in the wrong vehicles. No, this might work. Can't see it, but yeah, fuck it. It's probably not gonna work. Now it's okay. You dump the infantry out so I can assign bombardment. It'll take at least one turn to arrive. Every building pretty much. Yeah, this is just one ambush after another. Question is, do we go to the city, try to go through that, or do we really want to just directly push to the flags? It's gonna cost us quite a bit if we push to the flags, and I have no idea what they have in store for us. On the other hand, if we go here, not sure if it's any better, but even the previous mission, it might have been better to play a little bit differently. Okay, we can. It's a one turn delay. I think I'll save these for if we actually encounter trouble, because let's say we engage a T-34. There's a good chance that it's basically an ambush location where we have a very disadvantaged way to get into it. So it might be simply better to just send a couple of aircraft there. Even if they don't kill it, they'll gonna suppress it to the point that someone else can do something useful with it, with the situation. I was thinking about should we drop units somewhere, but no, because they're low visibility, there's no point. They wouldn't be able to contribute to the fight anymore. We're more or less keeping same pace as with the guys who are using the road. Actually, we might be a little bit in front of them with the light tanks. Okay. Building could have a recoil even if we don't have to go next to it, so it would be still incredibly dangerous to leave it alone. Can we do that? We need to take the infantry. Right. K group is a boat unit. This is pure sacrificial crap. J is part of my core army, but we don't particularly care what happens to it either. I need to more or less see where the Persians can reach. Around here. That's more or less where we should end the scouting. Is this draft? Yes. No? Heavy machine there. Okay, that's not too bad. I guess we could stop here for this turn. It can definitely destroy the scout, so probably someone else should come here. Also, what type of ammunition does this have? a bow. Right. It's probably well enough in check that someone else can come and finish the job. Just going to the side a little bit since we're stopping more or less here anyway to see if we can spot something new and interesting. I really need to know what's in this building though. Apparently nothing. I'm slightly skeptical about that, but it is what it is. Still can't see shit. Fair enough. And we're certainly not pushing past the B1 here. So I guess we're gonna spread around a little bit. We do have to kill you. Excellent. Is the damage one? Yes. Stay in the background. No point losing a good unit unless there's something really underlying. Ooh, a bazooka team. Why the hell do I have a separate bazooka team here? Okay. Alright. We don't want to go too much further. These are capable main battle tanks after all. We need them in case some real trouble comes our way. We want to throw them away casually. Ooh, you're the command unit. Uh, that's no good. Why don't you have infantry inside you? Okay, not too bad. We use smoke. You don't see how smoke would benefit us in any possible situation. Mobilized? Yeah. Only one though, and it's clearly mortar fire, so it's not too serious. We're still a little bit ahead of the northern group, but the others are sort of falling behind. It took us about 3 turns to reach here, that's about 6. So if we go to the road, we are definitely going to reach here before the time runs out, no problem. Probably around turn 8. Yeah, at least get close to this, so there's still plenty of time to fight. Can't see anything new. Right. Infantry probably can't contribute to anything useful, but who the hell knows. Might as well move it with the rest of the group. Now comes the most important part. Which path? I mean, we don't have to go all the way around here. We could just go here, for example. It would just bypass a lot of ambush points, I think. At the same time, they could have decent defenses here too. So I'm not sure what exactly. I think I'll just make a save here. So just in case everything turns to shit, this is the important choice we can make. Although the southern group sort of becomes pointless if we also go up the south. Not entirely, but although I'm sort of curious to see how bad it is here. Yep, it's definitely defended. So no matter what we do, we can't escape that. However, here they attack from an adjacent hex. Here they seem to attack from a few hex away. It's much preferable to me. Suppression fire, not. Oh fuck, that was this guy could have died. Yeah, it's pretty badly suppressed now. Still move. Yeah, pretty much expected assault. We're so suppressed that we can't see what the assault does. Okay, let's do it this way. Oh, you can't see the building? The gigantic building right in front of you? Okay. Also can't... apparently can't see who's in the building. The artillery should be able to fix that quickly. Need another M group scout to do this. Someone who isn't suppressed to all hell. Okay, could someone silence that thing up? Here we go. Nicely routed enemy troops. Not sure what exactly we want to do here though. If we go south as we're sort of doing now, we have to go quickly. We can't just stay here and fight. We have to push through aggressively and get results. The let's sort of wait and fight is perfectly acceptable in the other path, not here. This is a bad unit to scout with because even if it gets attacked, I can't see who's attacking me. Oh, it's retreating now. Fair enough. You also need to be careful about the fact that there could be armor in this town, or a anti-tank gun or something, and we would basically be just walking into it. Uh, Wrong button. I might give thought about just dumping some infantry here. Certainly ease the spotting of enemy units. We don't have to necessarily keep the unit here. We can just dump it at the start of a turn. Okay. Still, it's like 2 turns to reach here. Feel like going to the town is just crawling through a lot of extra trouble. But who knows? Hello, Mr. North Korean Rifle Squad. There is the benefit here that there's a little bit more space for us to maneuver. So yeah, we can get ambushed, but it's a lot tougher to actually kill any of our units. See if the infantry spots something new. Nope. I'm hoping for something to react to my ship here. There we go. Minor casualties from situations like these are irrelevant, or largely irrelevant at least. Still, this brought a dozen units totally destroyed just on this turn. So it's not irrelevant. Our main force can probably move through the town in a couple of turns thanks to this. Someone else still has to move first. I'm not sure if I want to push further. The problem is I do need to be able to push the support units that same distance, otherwise I'm just throwing away the scouts for no reason. Survivors disperse. Not sure if there's any point in really pushing forward harder. We only have the mobility to do it, but not the shots anymore. Like one light tank that might be able to easily push further on. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea though. Well, we do have the Shermans, but again, we might encounter some serious trouble in the town, so nope. Ho 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 ho. 2 new squads. Some ways I don't think shooting at them really makes much of a difference now, but they are still gonna come harass me later if I don't do something about them now. We can always hope for an army fight route. I think we, for example, won the previous mission. I suppose because we hold the main objective flags at the correct times. So the enemies just started moving toward the flags in an attempt to get them back, and it totally backfired on them. They were just out of position and easily killed. Last proper scout. No, you were the last proper scout. Um, yeah, drop some infantry. You really have to drop a huge amount, but a few units here I think would do a lot of good. If there really is infantry here, hostile infantry, they cannot resist the opportunity to try to kill some of our. We could use aircraft, but again, against what? Hmm, slight injuries. That's it. Hmm. They recovered very well, very well. So there's a good chance their leader is the HQ unit is actually there. Okay, with light tank type of units, this sort of plan sort of makes perfect sense. With the rest, much less so. I think these guys should try to aim for our road fairly quickly. The rough terrain basically eats up movement like hell. With the light tanks, they can go through it fairly easily. I think I'll aim for this area in general to try to reconnect with the army, if that is at all possible. Right. I want infantry. The other infantry. Right. Recoilless. Now someone can finish it off. Someone has to finish it off. Okay, not too bad here. Uh, who's the scout? Why does this building smoke? Probably driven off some kind of unit from there. Right, that's no big problem. In. Good enough. Hmm. Progression like this is not good enough though. We really need to start getting somewhere here if we want to stay on schedule. Okay, what's next? Forgot about that. That's actually somewhat deadly. We could skip some of these buildings, but I sort of want to check every building that's next to a road. Because I'm going to drive into it accidentally anyway, if not directly, so. Still, so far so good. I think we've had some genuine luck with the assaults here, but even if that wasn't the case, I don't think we would have made that much of a difference. There it is. Inevitable failure. But we got basically past most of the dangerous part and we've lost one scouting unit. Two, I don't recall whether first one died right at the beginning. Right. To make progress. Other threat removed. I need to clear a little bit the infantry out of here. The vehicles are not good at this job. Okay, that'll be good enough. There's only one squad that could technically come back to haunt me a little bit. I don't think even that's really a likely outcome here. I don't want to go after this infantry because I would have to clear new buildings in order to do it. Oh shit. You retreated right on top of the enemy. Good for you. Problem now is that I'm gonna shoot the enemy, so this could be bad for you. Yeah, sorry about that, but you just drove right on top of that. Hmm. they could very easily die here. I have not cleared any of that, so that's probably filled with enemies. Still can't be helped. Well, it could be helped, but I'm not gonna try that. Let's keep our eye on the ball. Only a few buildings left, then it seems like it's clear sailing. Well, relatively clear sailing. Probably shoot this building just for that. Just to make sure. We do have infantry coming here, so we probably should at least discourage these guys from slaughtering all of it. Our one light tank. This cannot be risked for anything. We should fire on that one though. They have barely any casualties and they're just retreating. There's a good chance they'll come back and start a fight if I don't do something about them. Moving on. Okay, it's routed. We don't really have to worry about it. I think we should try to suppress that one. It hasn't really done anything and we just fought it. But preemptive strike. It's gonna cause trouble if we leave it alone. Get in the tank. We're still gonna leave infantry there to fight things out. Damage. Positive side. No surprises here. light weapons fire and you dump your infantry right here in the open. Holy shit. Yeah, this is an actual problem now. Ah, thank god. At least 2. And that's pretty much it. Yay. I'm really thinking where should I send the aircraft, and I just can't think of anything. Buildings next to the flags. That's a acceptable location, I guess. Holy shit. Ooh, this is a new one. Recoilless weapons are shooting at my infantry. Oh, this is going to be bad. Again, we sacrificed an infantry squad in exchange. Got location of their recoilless rifles and a couple of extra infantry squads. That's bad. That's immobilized. We lost at least a couple of units there. Right, recoilless rifle. Yeah, that's in a bad place, isn't it? I'd like this guy to survive, but it's retreating right past likely enemy locations. How to do this? We really don't need to capture anything or really even kill anything, but so where should we spread out then? That's the question. Could be a lot of trouble coming our way. That machine gun is ready for action. It's wasted most of our shots. So I think we can hold our own here, but if there's a lot of moving infantry units around, that's gonna cause up trouble sooner or later. The biggest problem is this though. That motherfucker. They had an ambush point here. So, help me God, they did. And there's a mortar here. That's interesting. Well, there won't be mortars here, so they're the ones who have been immobilizing my units, so getting rid of those is a plus. And I suppose we should really continue the path we've already cleared, so I think we'll just pull ahead, no distractions. I'm still so impressed how well they always get their troops under control. They definitely have an advantage over me in that department. Usually when someone shoots my infantry, they're shooting themselves and they're very hard to get under control for a couple of turns. They don't have that problem. I'm going to save your ass somehow. But we can at least return fire, but that won't do it. How can you not see that? Ah. We have smoke. No. So we can only fire. Slow fire. Not spotting anything? We're lucky this guy will hold its ground and not move anymore. Right. Still have a couple of scouts left. Scout. They're clearly a threat to my scouts. Another mortar. Well, I can't go there, not with this one. Okay. Still, you are the scout, so you go first. Looks good so far. I still think there's probably gonna be at least recoilless rifle type of ambushes left. Question is, we don't necessarily have to go along the road here anymore. We can sort of skim past it directly there. At the same time, the road will be slightly faster. And an ambush wouldn't actually cost me too many men. Like a scout, you know, something extra on top of that if we get hit real badly. You see 3. 2 mortars and a retreating unit. Fine. Thinking of saving shots with the heavier tanks now. At least with a couple. There's really no telling what's gonna come my way. Saving shots for later, whatever that later happens to be. we are sort of dropping infantry here. We have a decent amount already, but a few extra squads probably wouldn't hurt. Their HQ unit. Well, that's something I can hardly ignore. Also explains why these guys in burning buildings are perfectly ready after they've been shoved to the corner being routed. Boss is there to break their balls. Still, moving on. I need some proper unit to... you've been immobilized, so fire at anything you can. The other immobilized units? No. Pinned is not good enough. That is good enough. Okay, what can we do here? We can go after him. I'm not sure if that's a great idea. We can just kill him through other means. There's a lot of ardent rifle squads moving about now too. Mobilize Sherman. A bazooka squad. We could try to go and save his ass. Why can't... Yeah, this is the bazooka team. Right. I was wondering why the bazooka team couldn't... why the infantry team couldn't shoot here. Because it's a bazooka team. It doesn't have that kind of weaponry. Are we gonna play ping pong with this squad? Nope. Okay. So the HQ is gonna live for another turn. Actually not in a horribly bad position. Right, more or less everything that can be done has been done. We really should decide on what we're gonna do with the aircraft. I don't see how they could possibly be useful. We could go after a couple of the likely targets here. The buildings would be the likeliest, I'd say. Where are you? Everything will be taken care of before we can really do much about it. These guys will drop bombs, the Corsairs. Bearcat fires rockets. I'm sort of picking more or less random targets at this point. They're reaching here soon. Can I take a target here that might be likely? Maybe this bush? I mean, it's pretty random at this point. Just fire at something. New infantry squads. Yeah, pretty much every building seems to have an infantry squad now. We're losing. Ooh, that's mortar firing direct fire. Yeah, they have such. Ooh. Immobilized. Like there's such a huge advantage in numbers as far as the infantry is concerned. Yeah, this guy's done. Unless we go to his rescue, pretty much. Can't. It's in the perfect. No, what the hell do you see? Right, the problem is it's retreating. So it's gonna go into these areas where it's gonna get shot. Well, everyone who's basically sort of going around here not knowing exactly what they're doing is gonna be murdered. Can you kill that? It's another recoilless rifle squad coming our way. Was coming our way. Machine gun there is probably keeping everything in more or less in check. We're going to go after the HQ they have to. How in the hell no one saw this? Pink rifle squad and you just move past it. HQ gone. Nope. No casualties on HQ. One casualty. Well, we don't really have any vehicles here, so there's a limited amount of things we can do. I suppose it wouldn't hurt if we put back a vehicle to aid with the infantry. Single vehicle is not going to make much of a difference there. And in many ways, we've already done exactly that. These guys have been let. So why not take it a step further and aid your comrades in need. We are not getting into the city, we are more or less just reacting to what we already see or what the other units encounter. Survivors dispersed. Yeah, that'll do. these mortars will be at least played out of the fight. Just spreading the joy around a little bit, so one guy doesn't get all the kills. Hey, what can our scouts show us? Okay, how far can we realistically go? More or less around here. Skull being able to go a little bit further than the others, well, that's terrible for us. But I think I'll wait here for the rest. We'll spread around a little, just so we have a better chance of seeing there's trouble here waiting for us. Yeah, we don't really have to follow the road here necessarily, but I think it's probably better if we do. I expected more trouble. I'm not exactly displeased that we didn't encounter trouble. And you could try to drive directly through the hills to the flags too. But I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, if you're gonna go with that, you might as well just drive them directly. Ah, yeah, we're in a little bit of trouble there. Could use, could lose regular experience infantry. There might be a veteran infantry there somewhere, I don't know. Not sure if it would matter all that much. We would have to be able to do an infantry assault. And I don't mean assault a vehicle, I mean where infantry has to be heavily used to do things. But even if that would be the mission that we have to do, I don't think I could pull it off anymore. Most of my points are tied to the vehicles, so we'll just have to manage somehow. That's it. Can't spot a single target. And where the fuck are you bombarding? I thought they would shoot the houses, but apparently no. I mean bomb the houses. Anything but. I suppose there could be that there's something, so it's ignoring Well, someone shot at the target I We lost our precious bazooka team. It has to be the commander who gives these commands, otherwise it'll take forever for anything to land here. So, we have a machine gun here somewhere that we have trouble getting to. So, just go there unless I pick up a better target. Okay, Mr. Scouts. Yeah, unless we actually get to an ambush, I think I'm just gonna track the scouts are doing. Doesn't seem to be a point in extending this for no reason. Yeah, looking good. I'll probably capture a huge amount of flags fairly quickly now. Go by the road though. No shortcuts anymore. That will just bite me in the ass very likely. Things seem to be calming down a little bit. At least I don't see any new enemies here. I'm not sure splitting up this army group was a horrible idea, even though it seems like the split up group is doing the same path and is a little bit slower, left behind. Because there was no guarantee about how this was going initially. So it could have gone a bit differently. Just ended up working in a way that didn't seem to matter too much. I don't want to go after these infantry squads now. They're more or less just holding their position, probably reacting to anything that comes anywhere close to them. We do want to get them, but we might have to let them go for now. Don't want to leave any infantry squad alone. We have reinforcements incoming. Ooh, they had a ready squad here waiting. Oh. Doesn't seem like they have anything in their back pocket. Still 4 turns left. We'll stick to the plan. To keep the units that have been left behind alive, while everyone who's in any shape to press forward, presses forward as fast as they can. These 4 turns can allow you to still travel a huge amount of time, a distance, and there's no telling what we'll still face. We can let some of the flags be captured by someone who's coming after us. A little slower units. Frontline units need to just keep pushing forward. I'm thinking of maybe leaving a unit or 2 here. Mainly because we can still go after some of the tastier targets there. And I don't see how this would contribute all that much useful things to the attacking group here. Okay, where's the M group? You first, you always first. We're gonna just move forward until we get ambushed. No ambush. No ambush at all. Fair enough. Expecting them to try to do. At the moment these guys do anything, we know that they're going after the flags. The HQ especially seems to be content at just sitting there doing nothing. Well, it's dead now. They'll definitely react to my presence here if I try to do something, so infantry can wait for another turn or 2. We could stay here and ambush the returning units from here. Who the hell knows how many of them there are still here. I don't see them being really a threat, but at the same time, not really seeing a reason why I shouldn't try to prepare for them. They've got nothing anymore. Should be able to take the flags now. Not all of them though. Hmm. Yeah, we can't quite get them all. Okay, got most of them anyway. Hmm. We might want to leave things at the flags at this point. Maybe something like drop a marine squad here and just move on with the tanks. We'll probably have like a extra turn after this to do what killing we want to do. So try to get our hands on what we can and kill what we can. Still have to assume that that's not going to be quite as simple as that. We might have units that want to move around a bit. Last ditch effort to try to make it. We more or less just want their mortars. Yeah, I want him. They're dangerously close to my infantry. Same thing here. That's pretty much it. Yes, no? I might be able to get a kill or two, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Doesn't look like they have much of a time to try anything even if they wanted to. In some ways this might have been one of the more pathetic missions yet. At least in a lot of the missions we faced so far there has been something that sort of caused me grief. But here there hasn't been even really that. Very typical, just every little nook and cranny filled with infantry. Now they're going after the flags. This is going to be a slaughter of a couple of infantry squads. Yep. This is definitely the end. Still, might as well enjoy the kills. And you can't see it. Positive side, we really have no reason to hold anything back. Alright, there's really nothing happening here anymore. Don't care who gets the kills at this point. Maybe if it's a between core army or some random nobody, then might care a little bit. Other than that, we'll just shoot whatever we can. Sure, if we can kill any new squads here, really. One more. Couple of extra stragglers, harmed a little bit more, that's about it. I still don't want to go into these houses, it'd be foolish to lose a vehicle at this point. I mean, by killing enemy infantry I'm getting a few points here and there, extra score, but they're not worth throwing away the actual proper units. It certainly looks like there are no surprises left. The infantry here has started moving. Right, we control everything, so let's just see this to the end. Few extra infantry killed. That won't make much of a difference. A couple of extra squads wiped out. 1,174 for us, 47 for North Korea for killing 46 men and 2 scout vehicles. That went about as well as things can go, I'd say. What was this? The 5th mission. I think we're reaching the end of where we can... any kind of victory will do. From this point on, it's probably decisive victories only. Veteran infantry, veteran tanks, veteran tank, veteran tank, veteran tank. Not bad. and we definitely have enough points to upgrade the tanks as necessary. I'm not sure if the Greyhounds, for example, are all that good. They're cheap to lose. That's their thing, but we can always afford the cheap to lose vehicles. So they might be better upgraded to at least I mean light tanks. Problem is they're good at anti-infantry, but they're terrible against the T-34s. Even the Persians are sort of more or less on equal footing. Due to your success of clearing South Korea of enemy units, it was decided that an invasion of North Korea was in order before winter has arrived. UN forces have reached the outskirts of the North Korean capital, Pyongyang. A few die-hard North Korean units still hold key areas of the city. Your orders are to capture the airfield, secure the bridges, and the oil refinery south of the city. Yeah, I think river crossing. Oh, fuck me. Uh, we don't actually have to take river crossing units though. But it might be worthwhile. We wouldn't take more than a couple of barges. Depends on where we start. Seems like we have to basically go to the right side of the river because that's where the airfield is. So if we start, for example, from the lower, well, we can always go to the upper left corner. But we could go to the, also send a group to the lower left corner, go with the barges across the river to get to the airfield. That way I wouldn't have to worry about the, that particular location. Can I see that beforehand? I can always load the previous save game. I'd really like to see what we're getting into. So the actual map. It's a big map. It's a very big map. Only 14 turns. Um, holy shit. How close to the river do we start? Right here. I don't think the barges make sense. Even though we could try them here, we would not have time to actually use them. So, also am I imagining, or does this not really correspond to the map that I looked at? I think it only showed like the upper portion. That's the airfield was somewhere here, right? So it didn't show most of the map. Infantry might be able to cross this. So the idea could be that we ferry some infantry vehicles here and just cross the river with them while the main fighting force goes to sea. Still a tricky map. It is absolutely massive, and only 14 turns. Arch carriers are too slow. I'd say we might have the necessary infantry. We didn't really use infantry to clear the city in the previous map, so we don't need it in this one either. What we need is absolutely a platoon of sacrificial cars. We do have proper artillery. That might be a thing to go with. I was thinking heavy amphibious. We could go with the light, but they're just shittier versions. there's not much of a cost difference. They just have half the weaponry and almost no armor. These would be fairly fast, so we could get half a dozen infantry troops plus the APCs to go to the south, cross the river there. If there's any kind of heavy hitting units in that group, like a Persian or a priest or two, they would be able to counter any armor that enemy might have there. It would be somewhat relying on luck, but it was still doable. I think this is a reasonable choice based on the time constraints we're gonna have. Well, I sent my own marine squads with these. We don't really have much infantry to send anywhere else. Artillery might be the most sensible thing to do at that point. Alternatively, artillery section. I mean, these work fairly well and they aren't that expensive, so sacrificial artillery would destroy buildings, kill infantry, and in a tough spot take down tanks too. And again, fairly cheap, just 9 points per unit. Armored car is 6 points, so there's not a massive difference there. Alternatively, buy a lot of artillery. Some artillery wouldn't certainly hurt. But realistically, we would basically just be demolishing buildings with it. So a suppression weapon. Not a horrible one, but we could sort of achieve the same thing with these. Just suspect building to be occupied, shoot it with artillery for a while, and you can then go next to it with a scout to check if it actually had anything. Amphibious tanks. Oh, these would be cheap. 10 points. Relatively cheap. LVTA2. Yeah, I think I was buying maybe individual cost 10. Individual cost 18. Right. It would have a one anti-air machine gun instead of two, but it would cut the cost in half. I'm not actually sure though is how much infantry can I stick in one of these? These are proper amphibious tanks. These are APCs. These are tanks again. They have a proper gun there. Right. I'm assuming this is something I can actually stick infantry in though. And the reason is cost 10 is because it's has less weaponry. Cost 30. Jesus Christ. Right. This would allow me to have a decent sized artillery section. for what it's worth. Not actually sure if it would be all that useful, but we'll see. Ah, right. So more or less stick to the road for the main army group, while the secondary army no. Why do we want to stick to this road? Because it's the fastest way to get here. But if we leave these two things alone, it's not that important anymore. They might be well defended. Ah, shit. Might want to go with the heavy tanks here and then sort of zoom in to the north. Because that would allow us to sort of take a look at this section at the same time while still using the heavier tanks. Also, we can split this into two groups, but I feel like at that point I'm gonna have to go through two sections of defenses. That doesn't sound like a good idea. Rebel squads. This group goes north. So stick your cells in the Persians. Carry capacity 24. Right, actually a bit better than I expected. Your entire purpose is to take the southern areas. Hmm. Can leave a couple of priests here. Most of them should still go to the north. Hmm. We want to leave some sort of a group to the south too. At least one heavy tank. B4 can do it. Right. And the extra infantry. 6 squads. Okay, we can have extra scout here, I guess. There's enough force to get through this, but most of the extra scouts have to be here. These are going to the city areas. I guess that's more or less it. Okay. We want to bombard something in advance. Possibly. That's probably just infantry here. This hill is what concerns me the most. That could have decent defenses. It after all prevents an easy access to here. Alternatively, we could start bombarding the city, but that's not going to be a relevant issue for us for some time. This is not also much of a target because it's in the open, so I don't really have to worry about any buildings. Same here. That's actually the case with a lot of these. It's more or less the path to these that are the problem. Certain key structures I really would like to get rid of. So the question is, let's say we more or less go here. Where to go next? There's a lot of buildings I have to go through. I guess I can go as deep as this before going north. Right. Um, I don't want to fire too close to the bridge if I can help it. More or less going to bypass the right side of the city entirely. Bombard these areas. And is that more or less it? Well, that building is questionable. We could also pre-bombard with all the self-propelled artillery. Don't think it would hurt anything. Same time, I'm not sure what I would really gain from that. I guess I'm okay with that. Right. So, quick assault to the center, and most of our army goes north to try to take care of the northern section of the city, while the southern force just rams through this and continues to the oil refinery. 14 turns, hopefully is enough to do all that.